dummy. Just an ultimate retard when it comes to like vehicles, extreme sports. I guess you would say, quote, skateboarding, BMX, illegal fucking car jumping, and car fucking rally shit. So let's start with fucking. How the fuck do you even come about of being like the best fucking stuntman ever? Like,
I don't know, man. I've broken a lot of bones and definitely done a lot of stupid things where I should have died. Dude, fucking, yeah, man, just recently thinking about, like, every time I feel the side of my fucking face, man, I just think about how I broke my face, and I'm like, that was one thing I always, like, dreaded happening was breaking my face. And sure as shit, like, a couple of years back, broke my face after everything and all.
Was that the bicycle into the bus?
Yeah.
B into B?
B to B, bicycle to bus, bus always wins.
was that some insurance stunt?
No, I didn't get anything. No one's gonna help. No one's gonna help me, of all people, sue a school district. It was a school bus, so like I don't know. And then the police were crooked as fuck. They wouldn't let me see the footage, and they were like just being all weird with it. And they made me like go through like this process just to get it. And then they were like saying that I like T-boned the bus, which wasn't true. Like
Yeah, because they probably thought you were going for some insurance fraud or something.
yeah, like just stupid shit. So and then they thought because I had weed on me, they took my weed. My mom was freaking out because I was in the hospital, and I was like, Mom, they took my weed, and she's like, well, she, you know, she don't really give a shit, and fucking, I was like, they can't do that, like, they can't just take my weed, and sure as shit, they took I had to go to the fire department to get my weed. I went to the fire department to pick up my bike and my weed, and they had my grinder in a fucking rubber glove, like, tied up. I'm like, it's really fucking funny.
Acting like it was like gonna hurt him.
Yeah, like
Get in their
like,
skin. And
they're
they're
like,
like, oh my god, get high by touching
we
it.
just can't probably smelled really bad to them.
That's probably I don't know.
But yeah, there's and then again with the breaking the ankle on the kid's scooter, and I mean I've been hit by so many cars, fucking I don't know, I can't even tell you.
Okay, I want to talk about, since we're on like the subject of cars and music wrecking yourself. I called you after work. You were working at Cars Auto Collision at that time.
Yeah.
And you know, working there all fucking day, they probably treat you like a goddamn dog because you're like fresh meat out there. And you were dating Kayla at the time, so were you just like like the ultimate fucking Craig Frye tire?
Dude, well at that time, I know what you're going into. The time when you talk about when I fell asleep and hit the house. Yeah.
Yes.
So, dude, okay, this is what happened with me. So I was at Ezek's house. Okay, so the day before this happened, I worked the whole day. It's hail season. I worked at an auto body shop. I worked at Cars Collision Center, and it's not there anymore out in Pueblo West. Now it's like a Gerber or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But anyways, fucking got off work the day before this happened. Was helping my brother because he had his yellow S10 at the time, and we were putting a transmission in it and a clutch, and like just pretty much like rebuilding that whole area. And then we were up all night. Like I drove to Walmart that night, went to fucking got like transmission fluid at like 3 o'clock in the morning to finish it with Ezek. Finished it. Ezek was off, and then I got done and drove to work in the morning, like got like an hour of sleep maybe, if that, like took like a nap, and then worked again, and then after work, I got off work early because it was Friday. I remember now it was a Friday, and then you had called me because you locked your keys in your car and you had your Taurus at the time.
Oh, that's right.
You had your Ford Taurus, and then I was driving to your house. And then I remember turning down Elizabeth Street, and I was so tired where I passed your street, and I turned around in the cul-de-sac, and then passed your street again because I was like, just like nodding out, like tired as fuck. And then I just remember like passing your house again, and I was like, oh fuck, I better turn around. And then like, I just remember lighting the cigarette, and then just being like I just fell the fuck asleep. Like I just was like so relaxed, and I fell asleep, and I guess what they had said was like they just because my exhaust broke too. It was broken on it. It just broke off randomly like the day before.
Yeah.
And so the people that heard said it just sounded like the person that accelerated. And then I bump jumped one of those 13-inch curbs off fucking 23rd and Elizabeth into the house on the southwest end of 23rd and Elizabeth and T-boned the corner of it. And it smashed my front end of my car all the way down to like the motor, like split the radiator in half and everything. And the airbag's deployed, there's radiator fluid everywhere. But when I got out of the car, like I just remember like being like knocked the fuck out. And the airbag.
Sir, can you turn that on silent?
I'm turning it on silent.
Thank you.
And yeah, I remember getting out of the car and there's a group of people like just walking up to me like from every direction, like as if I was like an alien ship that just landed.
Well, I mean, no one really does that.
I know. And they were like, "What the fuck happened?" I was looking at them, and then I passed out because I was like had severe head injuries, and like it was a really bad concussion.
Well, you know what's funny about that? I remember.
And then then after that, like fucking, I just remember waking up. The hospital's there. Somebody put a brick under my head. They're like, "Who put a brick under his head?" I was just laughing about it because somebody propped my head up with a brick, and then I remember like being in the stretcher and pulling out my sidekick and like texting my mom and like being like looking at the sky with my hands in the air like texting my mom like, "Hey mom, I'm going to the hospital. I fell asleep and hit a house."
Dude, no, okay. Where I text you, he's like, "Where the fuck are you?" He's like, "I hit a house."
Oh, yeah, I text you too.
Dude, like it was me and Andrew Gallegos at the time. We're like,
and wasn't Kendra Bidwell there or something like that?
Maybe, I don't remember. And we heard a fucking ambulance and fucking shit like that.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's go check this out. It might be fucking Craig, I told Andrew. And sure enough, it was you.
It's so funny that you guys got to see me.
We watched you catty corner, and you were getting put in the fucking ambulance with your fucking sidekick like that. No joke, he was really texting like his hands in the air.
I'm pretty sure I texted you and my mom like right away, like hey, I don't know what happened, but I fell asleep and hit a house. And dude, they were trying to. I was like delusional from like sleep deprivation. They were trying to like. They were asking me if I was drunk. They did a blood test. They did fucking the piss test.
Were you drinking?
No, I just got off work and I didn't even drink at the time.
No, he's just tarded. That's all.
I wasn't even doing any drugs at the time either. Like
yeah, you were super against weed. And now you're at the biggest pothead I know.
Well, because I went from smoking weed to not smoking weed to smoking. I will never probably stop smoking weed, which is.
I remember like me and Tay would have to like go smoke away from you because you were so against it.
Larry too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry from when he was dating Lee, right?
I remember being sad that he went to college.
Oh man.
And fucking went wild with a bunch of people he didn't know, but he never smoked or nothing with us.
See, like I at least there was like I was at least better than that. Like I drank with you guys and hung out, and then I smoked like a little bit. Like middle school and like beginning of high school, but after that I just the second half of high school, the last 3 years, freshman year I smoked
whatever,
a
but
joint with Kyle.
No, you didn't.
And we went over to Scott Everly's house. Then after that, like I didn't smoke weed for a long time. And then after dating Kayla,
your life just went downhill.
No, dude, no. What happened was I was with my friend Denise, and
nice.
And she rode BMX. We all just rode BMX together. And fucking one time she was like, "Hey," I went over there. They're all eating mushrooms, and then Denise had finally she couldn't have convinced anybody anything. Like she was like, "Hey, I mean, you should just eat these mushrooms." And I was like, "She's like, just a little bit. It's not even really gonna do anything to you." And then I ate these mushrooms, and then I was like tripping on mushrooms, and then I was just like, "Fuck it." I mean. And then I started smoking weed again, and then
Well, that story went way weird. But let's talk about how you were just like the fucking and growing up in high school. Mind you, Craig was like okay kind of guy. So we go to this party. I think it was one of our both like one of our first parties, I think, with Daroki's house, wasn't it?
There was a younger party,
It was
and
like-
we were partying over there. Daryl Roki's parents were like, the cool parents are like, we're gonna go to sleep, but you guys gotta just be cool and stay here or
That was
whatever.
with Cornell, Roki, fucking everybody.
Everybody was there, fucking, and we were getting tasered. Somebody tasered me. I had a TV thrown at me several times.
Oh no! What happened was
What
we
happened was
we were in the garage, and you already got tased. You were fucking done with that, and we were all in the garage like,
I got tased in the ribs, dude. It hurt so bad, like with a big taser too, like.
Yeah. Well, that must have been a big taser. But I'm saying, like, we're all in the garage, fucking waiting to fucking Daryl to drop a goddamn TV on your fucking chest,
'Cause he
and he
did.
picks it up, puts it over his head, and you're on the floor just like, just getting flexed up, ready to fucking have it dropped in your chest.
Oh my god.
And his dad comes out, what the fuck you doing?
What the fuck are you guys doing?
Empire's over. What the fuck? What the fuck, Daryl?
Daryl, what the hell's going on here? And
And Daryl's like, I'm gonna drop this TV on Craig. Like, didn't give a fuck he was getting in trouble. He's like, I want to drop this TV.
I ended up working with him later at Cars Collision Center. He ended up working there.
Oh shit.
And it's so funny to think about that because he's just working with me and I'm like turning and burning cars and he's like, oh man, I seen this kid like laying on the ground ready to get a fucking old like bubble TV thrown at him. Like,
Yep.
Do you remember the time? Corey, were you here when Craig fell in the fire?
oh god.
Oh
Crazy.
yeah, I remember.
God.
I remember when he found the fire. We had his old camping spot by out in Eagle Ridge, yeah, by Kyle Hafer's house.
We used to, me and Kyle used to live up there in Northridge. Kyle's, like Kyle's
By the
down,
water towers.
Kyle,
Yeah.
by the water towers. Like Kyle's down the street, and I lived like down the street, like right by all the dealerships, and fucking. So we used to take a shopping cart from Albertsons and fucking
I
get a bunch of shit.
I
and,
believe
like,
Kyle still worked at McDonald's and he brought a bunch
Yeah,
of
he
chicken.
did.
A
yeah,
bunch of chicken.
yeah, he had a bunch of chicken patties from there. He had the grilled chickens. 'Cause
Oh,
we
and
do-
we killed a fucking rabbit.
Dude, we killed rabbits. We would kill quails and shit out there.
And
we would,
didn't you guys like eat it? Eat
yeah,
the rabbit?
we would
They
cook
ate
it.
the. I
We
didn't
cooked
there
it
for
over
that.
the shopping cart because we would cook. We would okay. So this is like what we would do. We would all go like anytime we went camping on the prairies. We would go to Albertsons. We discovered that you can't cook on the flagstone rock because they explode under heat.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then fucking so what we would take a fucking shopping cart from Albertsons after getting like sodas and shit and like shit that we were gonna eat or whatever and snacks, push it out to the prairies, and then go on the other side of the hill. So that way all the neighborhood like you can't really see. 'Cause
It
it's
was
on
like
the
in
other
a
side of
hole
the hill.
and from the
Yeah,
highway.
it was
you
like
can
it was
see
like
from the
covered
highway,
around.
I think
every
we
direction.
discovered that you can totally see it from the highway though.
Oh yeah, you can. If you, the way, yeah, if we had like the fire going, I guarantee you could see it from the highway. But I don't know. It's funny that we never got caught. We never got caught.
Yeah. I remember that one time when he fell in the fire. Like we.
I remember I had a Snapple in my hand and there was a 2x4 across
Yeah, you.
and a box of graham crackers.
And we
in the other
dared you to
hand.
walk across that fucking.
No,
little
I was
thing.
trying to break it. That's what I was there like.
Really?
Dare
I
you
thought
walk? No, you're like you guys were joking, being like, dare you walk across it? And I was trying to break it because it was like across, like in the middle, the 2x4, and then of course like it broke and I fell in.
And since you had your other hand occupied, your other hand just like
both
took the
no, no,
full
no,
force.
both hands. I had
Oh,
I had
they
a
were
box
both
of
in it?
I had a box of graham crackers in one hand and a glass bottle of Snapple in the other hand, and fucking fell in the hot coals with my fucking knuckles in there, and I could smell meat cooking, like it smelled like burnt meat. And I remember like shuffling out and you guys laughing, and then we had the flagstone rock barrier around the fire to like protect it in.
Yeah.
And I was just kicking rocks out because I couldn't get up. And then I just remember I had to leave to go to Kyle's house to sleep with wet cloths on my hands all night.
Not only that, I think someone brought back toothpaste. to put on your fire.
Yeah.
Your fire barrier when you're
Well,
burning.
why would they put toothpaste though? I don't know.
I
why
said
they thought of
Neosporin. I was like, I look like Neosporin. No, it's toothpaste. Dipshit.
that. Fucking asshole.
Now I remember when we were going to bed, I was like, "So we're gonna sleep butt to face?"
Oh man.
That was like, I want to say that was the first time I saw Larry get drink or anything.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
out there. And I was like, I remember telling everybody, I was like, dang, Larry gets crazy.
Dude, he gets rowdy, bro, and that's what started it. Fucking. Goddamn. What weed is this? Is this 24?
That's some Hafner.
That's that Hubba Bubba kid.
The Hafner.
I think he grew it. I'm not too sure.
Oh yeah.
Mind you, Corliss Rock does not condone in these activities of smoking marijuana.
I remember that one time I fucking gave you and Cassandra fucking way too much fucking weed.
It was shake on top of a goddamn like
It was wax
or
Shit,
whatever it was.
yeah.
I don't
Wax
fucking
and
know.
Wax on top
shakers.
of wax on top of weed and just fucking they just hit it like super hard because they were all drunk as
I
fuck.
think I was here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might have been.
And then cause I felt bad, Cassandra ended up like fucking throwing up like crazy, and Corey was all fucked up too. So
I was just like fucking forehead to the table out here when it was out here.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I was just spending like a motherfucker. I was still like talking to you guys, but I just could not lift my head up because I was just done
Yeah.
for if I did. But let's talk about when we knew. I don't know if you ever jumped the car. Would you ever jump the car with us?
I couldn't, when you guys were talking about that earlier, I don't remember.
What
It was like hitting a dip or something.
we
No,
did
we-
a bunch of shit. Like we used to take Doug's car and jump it in a bunch of shit. That big Buick in like a
Oh, I
'76.
kind of remember that,
That,
actually.
but there was a car. So Alex Bailey's parents and Alex Bailey have this car. They sold me this car, this Ford Escort, for real cheap, and I wanted to buy it at the time because I just was like, was destructive and
Did they sell it to you for like $40?
$50.
Oh yeah.
And I feel so bad now because I guess they intended. I thought me in my head, like mechanic wise, I was like, oh, $50. I just want to get rid of it. Like I'll fucking go buy it for $50. So yeah, and then I drove it for like, I got it registered and everything, and then I drove it for like 2 months, the hardest 2 months it ever had in its life because we took it rally car racing in the prairies back there before all the houses got built, and we literally would jump the hill. We would. One time me and Corey were in this thing, and like I dragged the driver door. Like there was this jump that was like
Yeah, like we went off
on
like,
the
Those
side.
prairies are fucked.
Yeah,
Dude,
we went off on the side wheels like for like a good like a couple of feet, and
Yeah,
we just fucking like
there was dirt just flying everywhere. It was like
dude, and we
I can't. I like we should have rolled. Definitely should have rolled. But like as fast as we hit the jump, it threw us at an angle. But
Yeah,
as fast
it was
as we were going, the angle of direction that we were going, it flipped us back down to the side. Like
Oh, okay. see
I
what you're
remember seeing like maybe like 3 feet from my driver window
To the-
to the
Yeah,
ground,
to the
dude.
ground.
No, I've never
That
seen
was
the
just
same
dust,
shit.
yeah.
I was
Corey
like,
was like close up like this, and then after that, I didn't even hesitate. I fucking kept going, and then after this, there's like 100 yards, and you just floor it, and then you take a 90-degree turn, pull in the e-brake, and then you keep flooring it again, and then you get to like 60 miles an hour, and then you hit this like probably like 50-foot hill that plateaus to nothing.
Mhm.
And we used to shoot that like a good 50 to 100 yards, like, and just I remember the first time.
Just recreating Back to Future 3 when they
pretty much. We landed fucking the Wild West and shit.
But the scary part was me and Daryl were getting ballsy enough to where like, cause there was telephone poles right there
Oh yeah.
off to the side, and if you got rowdy and hit it to the right a little bit, you got close to that telephone pole, like too close, like not real close, but too close for comfort. Cause if you started sliding, you'd hit it.
Yeah, yeah, that's not good.
But
So if you go out and buy Kohl's towards like Best Buy and stuff, and you see these hills
out
next
close
to
Harley Davidson.
yeah, next to Harley Davidson, you see these hills. Me and Craig have jumped his Ford Escort, his little fucking red Ford Escort,
Four door, little 4-door. It was a 4. That was,
Was
a
it 4-door?
4-door.
Oh.
That was the 4-door. The
Okay.
2-door was the white one.
Oh yeah, that's right. But we
That
jumped
one-
those hills up there.
Yeah, and then
No,
Okay.
no lie. We jumped those hills. It's not a bullshit story. Veronica White can fucking be a vouch for that one. Who else? well,
Dude.
we took your sister's boyfriend at the time, AJ.
Yeah, he's
Dude, he was a bitch the whole time. I was
He's
actually like, oh.
he's in prison. It's so funny now. He's in prison now because he's a fucking idiot.
Well,
But anyways,
let's not talk about that.
we won't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't.
But anyways, I was like, you might want to put your seatbelt on. He's like, no, I'm good, homie. And the first thing jumping off the fucking street, because it was like pavement, and then it dropped a foot to like the dirt because it wasn't even finished yet.
Yeah, and you just see him grab his
And
seatbelt
he was like scruffling with his fucking hands and grabbed the fucking seatbelt and clicks it in and like.
Dude, he was like super like tough thug. When we took him on that shit, he was like,
Oh,
Dude,
smallest
this
person
terrified
ever.
because he took me one time in his Nova. He had a '73 Nova hatchback that was pretty dope, and it had a ratchet shift in it. And he took me on the back road right there, Outlook. Outlook one by my house over there before.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, rah, like fucking revving up down the streets, getting all fucking fast and crazy. And I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. And like he's trying to like scare me, and I was like, well, I work in a shop, like I'm around fast cars all the time. And I remember how funny it was just taking him on that fucking trip. And then how that car ended was me and Craig Cochin jumped it. So we were trying to hit it more to the other side of like the ramp, so it would launch us higher, and we wouldn't go as far. And then it ended up like nosediving and like completely folding in the front radiator support. And fucking, we made it around one more time, and then it overheated and blew the head gasket about like right where we flipped, where me and you almost flipped. Like after we hit that, that was the last one. It was like, just fucking killed it. And then so me and Craig Cochin called Tony, and I was like, hey Tony, come get me, this car's broken. He's pissed because he used to get so pissed about us fucking around the prairies with cars, because we just would get stupid, four-wheeling and shit with fucking two-wheel drive fucking cars.
Yeah.
And he rolls up. When he rolls up in his little Ford Ranger that was lifted and everything, he rolls up with that, and me and Craig Cochin are sword fighting with the door panels that we ripped off, the bumper door panels. We're sword fighting with them and smacking the side of the doors, trying to break the glass out at the same time, like fucking back and forth. We're standing on the roof and the hood of it, like dueling, like we're on the episode of fucking Pirates of the Caribbean or something. And he pulls up and fucking fucking Street Fighter. He pulls up and he's like, what the fuck you guys doing? And I was like, oh well, broke it, you gonna tow me home? And he's like, you guys need to quit fucking around so much. And he fucking just took off and left me and Greg there. So we had to walk back from the prairies, and I had to get my other truck at the time and tow it back myself. He pretty much just drove out there to like talk shit to us, tell us we're stupid, and then leave. It was pretty funny.
Tony fashion.
well, there's your mom making us take showers at your birthday
Every birthday party, sleepover, everybody had to like take a shower. My mom insisted on washing everybody's clothes because she fucking hated teenage boys and how they smelled.
Well, 'cause we skate like a motherfucker.
Yeah, we would skate. For my birthday, we would skate.
I think every time I pass it to Corey.
Corey to one, man.
No.
We would skate around all day, and then me and Kyle had to paper out a lot of the times too.
Yeah, there's some. We probably shouldn't even talk about paper out stories.
Well, oh God, no. We can talk about that. One time, you motherfuckers peed on my papers. One time I delivered.
I was there.
Pee to people.
I was there for that.
You guys don't realize this? Like I delivered human pee.
We were in my car for that one. My good old Ford Taurus, my spaceship. It was Valerie Maddock that pissed in your fucking papers, dude.
Dude, goddamn. I know. I found out later because I was in my fucking house rolling these newspapers thinking that it rained, but then realizing it didn't rain and wondering why all my fucking newspapers were wet.
You can hear Craig go, oh, what the hell? My newspapers are all wet. Oh.
I was bummed. I was like, why the fuck are these all wet? Like, dude, what the fuck? And I still delivered them. I rolled them, dude. I rolled wet newspapers because
You delivered pee papers.
pee papers. Oh god, and I'm just thinking of like that situation too, the corner of that that house, because we were on the corner. There's a street light, and just thinking of I remember that day so vividly picking up those papers because of that reason, because they were pee papers.
Yeah, well, I seen it happen.
Goddamn.
Uh,
we were fucked up pretty. We were funny as fuck, but fucked up like.
Dude, I wish we could have recorded.
Oh
like,
god! If we
everything.
could have
dude,
recorded all
everything.
like if it was.
you're the
like,
one that brought the camera around every once in
I
a
know.
while.
I
though.
lost
no, that was
that
like
shit,
those
too.
were like cameras, like fucking. You had like either a VHS like slot recorder in there or fucking some kind of tape recorder in there, like.
Speaking of videos, you remember fucking Kyle's sponge meat tape when you made it in Utah? Hi, I'm Kyle Hafner. And
St. George, Utah.
yeah, he says some dumb shit. And he was so rebellious that he'd go jump on someone else's trampoline and like run back to the camera. He was like, "Damn, I'm so badass, dude." And the rock caps he on, fucking so huge. Oh fuck, it's amazing.
Dude, all that footage. You know what? I have fucking like too many DVs from back then,
Dude,
and I just don't have any way to like play them through anything. You know what I mean?
I bet you we can figure out a way.
Like if you got an old mini DV camera, you can do it, but
There's gotta be some converters
Dude,
I
out
bet you I
there.
can find something.
we fucking have to. I mean, who knows what's on?
Probably
I'm
some-
kind of
there's
like
probably
worried
some-
what's on there.
I know. There's one clip that I've always wanted to see that.
Didn't you guys record fucking not saying her name, but
Yeah.
in Nick's upstairs, like record like in night vision, and this random hand goes on a titty.
I remember that because the night vision was so funny because it was just green back then. You see this green titty just fucking just.
That fucking house, abandoned house. That's what you're
Oh
talking about.
no, I'm not
right?
talking about that. I'm talking about Nick's house. When you guys
Oh,
all met
I don't
back
think
there.
that was me.
Yeah, you guys were videotaping me because I was like making out with some girl, like fucking, and you're like, you still have his shoes on, and fucking.
I thought that was you recording. My bad.
I think maybe Nick might have had a camera
Daryl had a camera too.
or somebody.
Daryl
But
had a camera too.
no, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're
You
talking
know,
about. We
you're
ain't
talking about
talking
different girl.
We're not talking about that house.
And
Yeah, we ain't talking about that. That will come back to haunt us.
dude,
That house. Holy shit! The things that happened in that house. Holy shit. Let's put it this way. Someone took a poop in the toilet and there was no running water. Yeah.
we destroyed that shit.
Mhm.
I've read like on my own, like 100%, like on my own.
Mhm.
I think I've read like maybe I've read The River, The Hatchet. I read both of those books, like page like front and back.
Like
By
all
myself.
of them.
What do you mean?
He said,
Like every page. Yeah, I read every single page.
page from back.
I made sure to read the front and the back of the pages.
I just started learning to read the back of the page.
I was wondering why the story didn't make sense though. Jesus.
Well, anywho, yeah. So that book. Oh,
The
man.
River and the
Those,
Hatchet.
The River and the Hatchet, and there's, I don't know what the other, maybe like one of the Harry Potters, but I listened to all those on tape.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I watched all the movies.
That's like the plus. Yeah, the movies are the best.
Did you read Dr. Seuss's at all?
You know what's funny, dude? I fucking feel like I even struggle with those.
Where Dr. Seuss's
I've read a bunch of little
red
books.
fish, blue fish, green fish.
I've read a
whatever.
bunch of little books like that, yeah. But I'm talking like chapter books, like books that like, and the Hatchet and the River too. Those are like 4th grade reading levels. Too.
Oh, so like Captain Underpants.
Never even read those. Those does
Oh, you'll
not
read-
seem interesting to me at all. Like
Oh no, you'll love them.
Yeah,
that's
you-
what. See,
Once
I
you
think
pick up
all my
these
book
Captain
reports were Captain Underpants.
A
Baby.
lot
what
of
is
them
what,
are
what
for
is
me.
it? The Captain Underpants.
It's a captain and he's got underpants.
I
on.
know the picture. Like that's all I fucking. Like
I can't even really remember.
I'm kind of ashamed that you don't know that book.
It was a
is
big
it
one.
one
Yeah, I
book
was
or is
saying,
it a
like-
couple books?
They have like a bunch of.
Well, nowadays they have like fucking a shit ton.
There's a movie now too, or like an animated adventure.
Yeah, not my department.
No, well, we tried.
I read a lot of magazines, like car magazines.
A lot of Hustler, where you didn't have to read much. You just read the name. That's
Just
it.
read Angela.
Angela Benz. Oh.
Ben's a lot.
Angela Benzilla. Like fucking straight Mike Myers name. Fucking
I want to hump a lot.
Ivana. Yeah, it is because I know everyone's gonna be listening to anybody that. It's gonna get.
We can edit.
I mean, you broke.
We can't.
I mean, you broke your ankle on a scooter. I mean, it doesn't get really much dumber than that.
in this garage.
Yeah, you broke your ankle on a scooter.
Dude, I fucking karate chopped the shit out of it that night.
Yeah.
What's that? Were you trying to jump off the fucking roof or some shit with it?
No, I was doing. I was drunk and I was trying to do. I was getting really good at like. Connor has a Hot Wheels like Razor scooter.
The little blue one?
No, it was a red one. This was a while ago, and fucking he was getting mad because I was like, he like didn't care but kind of cared because I was like riding fakie through the house and like riding, and so I was just obsessed with riding fakie on this thing, and then I was like, one night trying to do like fakie tail whips on a little stupid kid scooter, and
That's stupid.
what? Yeah, it's fucking.
It's actually extremely rad.
Yeah.
No, it was gay. It was a.
I was gonna comment.
I'm talking like '90s gay, so don't even.
I was
offend
gonna
anybody.
comment like there's like this scooter trick I saw on World Star,
Yeah.
and like he does like a scooter flip out of a grind, all like, but he's like going fakey, like you know he's backwards and he scooter flips out of a grind all crazy. And I just wanted to comment. I was like, yeah, it's still gay though.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I was going fake and did tail whip, and then I fucking like, just rolled the shit out. I was drunk and I rolled the shit out of my ankle, and like this, I just remember like the way it felt and the way it like crunched and everything. It was horrible. And then I went to the hospital and then got all crutched up and went to IHOP afterwards. Called it a night.
Not only that, you were so sad that we didn't want to take you to the hospital because we were all drinking, and you like begged Reese like to take you because we didn't want to take you.
Yeah, because I fucking, you guys suck with that shit. Like I remember one time, like the bottle cap. I was
Yeah, that's
fucking
what I keep
choking on a
thinking
bottle cap at a party,
Yep.
and fucking nobody would take me to the hospital. Kyle didn't want to take me to the hospital because he just bought his Mazda at the time, and he fucking hated me at the time too.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't want to take me because you were hiding in the back seat of your car because you were on probation. And you
Yes,
were
sir.
terrified of fucking.
I didn't want to get in trouble. I
Yeah.
was doing so well.
And then Antoine, I felt bad because Antoine and his lady, that was like his lady at the time, their house, like, or her house, and they're having a party.
It was
But I
like-
had to call 911 on myself. I was like, yeah, I'm choking on a bottle. Like, I was on the phone with them, and I'm like, I need help. What's the address here? I'm choking on a bottle cap. Nobody can take me because everyone's been drinking. And, yeah, that was funny. Sorry, Antoine.
So did it ever dawn on you that like, hey, maybe if I swallow this, try to regurgitate this bottle cap, it'll get fucking stuck in my esophagus. Unlike a quarter where it's smooth and you
Okay, so no, this is what happened.
Was
I
it
did
There's
it.
like a
brush it?
I did it.
No, you
Okay.
didn't crush it.
No. I had the bottle cap, and I did it, and I swallowed it, and then right when I swallowed it, and I like hawked it back up, nobody was watching. I had it in my mouth, and then everybody was looking at like, and then as soon as everyone looked at me again, I fucking hiccuped, and I was like, oh fuck, I just hiccuped with the bottle cap. So I was like, oh well, just tried to swallow and it didn't work. and it got stuck. And then so
that would freak me out.
I just like started slamming my beer, and I was like, oh man, that hiccup, like I got it stuck, and
You start like regurgitating blood.
I
and
just
all this
started
other shit.
I just started slamming this beer because I was thinking like I'll just wash it down. Well, it was stuck in between like a valve, and then it went over from that valve finally, and then like it got stuck going down, and then I went outside, and Nick was like, you should try to throw up maybe, and then I did, and then Nick was grabbing me from the back, like giving me the Heimlich, like trying to like and I started up, and I was like, this ain't gonna work, dude. I was like, I could feel it. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, dude, it's stuck. But the funniest part was getting the anesthesia, like being really drunk and being in the hospital, and then acting like an idiot because I was drunk, and like I was like, oh, they're like, why would you swallow a bottle cap? And I was like, dude, I'm fucking drunk, just get it out of me. Like, and
that scared the shit out of me.
the best thing afterwards though was they gave me a pitcher that had like 3 pictures on a
Yeah,
on a
don't you
page.
still have it?
Oh man, I gotta find it.
I remember seeing it online somewhere.
I do have it somewhere. I gotta find it, but it says twist off. Like you could see him like on the bottle cap, and just like the inside of a human organ.
Dude, it looks pretty
going
gross.
on.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
looked pretty gross.
and then
I've
you
never
just
seen
see
that.
twist off, and then a little arrow, and the red on the fucking bottle cap.
Yeah, dude. And not only that, fucking it says like description, swallowed bottle cap or something like that.
It said doing a magic trick.
Yeah, they made
Yeah,
it
swallowed
look so
bottle cap.
stupid because of
Yeah.
it. Like,
No, the scooter one was funny too. The scooter, the description on the hospital bill from the scooter was funny because it said, on a kid's scooter at friend's house, doing tricks on a kid's scooter at a friend's house. And it's like just this picture of, like on it, Reese made it, it's on Instagram, and it just has that like description of what happened, and then the picture of me like immediately afterwards, like with my fucking handlebar goatee mustache.
yeah, I did the same one for you with your bottle cap.
Yeah. Fucking.
I had a ticket that said skateboard use on sidewalk.
Oh, I remember that one.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, fucking silly.
I think I still have it at my house too, just because it was so.
Just use those for the labels of like the cover of these like each fucking
Oh yeah.
episode.
It's on speaker. Oh yeah.
Hello?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Little old lady.
Nice. Who this?
Little old lady.
Who's little old lady?
Little old lady. Hoo hoo.
Okay.
What are you doing, Ricky?
Man, who's this?
It's little old lady.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
It's Craig Frye, bro. What are you doing?
Oh, dude, I was about to fucking start getting some fucking crazy lockdown shit on you, daughter.
I'm over chilling at Corey's house with Taylor. What are you doing?
Corey.
Nah, I'm just chilling at my house.
Yeah, you wanted to drink some cervezas with me and Corey?
I can't drink. I gotta go take my UA on Monday.
God damn it. Oh, okay. Well, good to hear from you,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, good to hear from you, man.
Alrighty, well, I'll hit you up later.
Alright, brother.
Wait.
Liberal.
Let's fucking suck at prank calling, bro.
He's like, I'm about to get locked down.
Yeah, that's the best part. That was good. I was about to get.
I heard it in his voice, too.
He started to be like.
When I heard him say that, I was like, imagine like Ricky's like clenching up, like clenching his fist. He's like, oh shit, he's gonna beat his phone.
I'm gonna text him now and be like, love you, bro, sorry.
Well, in the meantime, I want to get tossed in this fucking sex story in there. Those are fucking hilarious, dude. Your sex stories are fucking, like, stupid and hilarious.
Yeah.
He, like, hates revisiting them all the time.
I mean, recently my sex life has been dumb, but I've had a pretty interesting one before. We were talking about earlier when I was pedicabbing one time. There was this couple that had gotten a ride. This dude, like, kind of like sharp looking dude, and then this blonde and like black dress and like some like coat. And they're like, oh, come in and get a drink. We'll buy you a drink. And I'm thinking like, oh, like pedicabbing, like I've done this before. Like, oh yeah, like go inside, buy you a couple drinks, and then call it a day when it's actually not really worth it because they just buy you like one drink and it's not really worth the ride. But anyways, I was like, oh, I'm good. And they're like, no, come in. Well, we're still going to pay you and everything. And I was like, all right, well. They paid me for the ride. They came inside to get a beer. They bought me a beer. And then the girl goes to the bathroom. And the dude is like, hey, man, my girl's into you. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, why is you telling me this? And what? Like this is, like, first, like, polyamorous kind of encounter-ish. Whatever. And, he's like, yeah, my lady's into you. He's like, what are you doing when you get off work? And I was like, he's like, when do you get off work? And I was like, I mean, I get off whenever I want, but I'm trying to work till 2 to, blah, blah. And, you want to roll another one? My weed's right there. My grinder. There's that one's Durban Poison, and that one's,
So you'd rather have this one?
well, that one's indica and that one's sativa.
That shit's
Oh, dude, I'm gonna wake up.
I want to wake up, oh, that's Durban Poison, bro. It's gonna hit you like a fucking. Anyways, so he's like, oh, my lady's into you, and I was like, okay, well, he's like, well, what are you doing after work? And he's like, then around that time, she's like walking back up, and he's like, yeah, you should come by after, like, whenever you get off work, we live in Capitol Hill, and so I was like, all right, I got their number, because I was like, he's like, let me get your number. He texted me. He was like, let me get your number because, we might need a ride later, and you never know. And I was like, all right. So he texted me. He was like, hey, man, just come by work. It's our address. Like, just super forward. And then I was like, thinking like, nah, like this is ridiculous. Like, but
trim the fat, dude.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm getting off work and I've been single like for a while, like, and I was like, this might be interesting. So I texted him. I was like, hey, how's it going? I'm leaving work, and it was like 2:00. So it was like ended up being a slow bar let out, and took my pedicab back and was riding home from work. So I rode my bike that day, and then I rode to their house because I got their address and went to their address in Capitol Hill. And so I knock on their door, and they lived in a nice fucking part of it with like, and they had their own little like condo kind of thing. And I knocked on the door, and the dude answers the door, and it's all lit, and it's so funny because it probably looked ridiculous from the street, and I'm just standing there with the bike like, hey, how's it going? And he's fucking completely naked, and he has a fucking Xbox remote in his hand. And he's
Specifically, an Xbox controller.
and he's playing FIFA, fucking soccer.
I was gonna say, like, oh, hey, come on in, I'm just playing FIFA.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He's playing soccer, and she was doing dishes with an apron on and a fucking thong, and with like
Hell yes.
with heels on still, which was weird. Like he was just like playing FIFA, watching his wife do like fucking dishes. Yeah. Anyways, then she was like, hold on, let me go get ready. She like stops what she's doing. She goes in the back. He's like, all right, man, just get comfortable and have a seat. And like, he's like sitting on the couch naked. And I was like, and I was like, he's like, oh, just dude. I mean, it seems weird, but I'm just get naked and she's gonna be out here in just 1 minute. And I'm thinking like, oh man, this is gonna be weird. So I just trusted it and got naked and yeah, she came out and it was then onward from there.
Pedicab.
It was really funny because I ended up taking pictures because he's like, my phone went off and he was like, oh, you could take a picture if you want. And I was like, well, okay. And then I ended up showing, do you remember me sending you that?
Yeah, you never sent me that picture.
No, I showed you something, or like, I remember showing you, because it
It
was my lower half of my body, her, and then him on the couch.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I swear to God, dude, I remember showing you.
I would remember that, and I don't remember that.
No,
The pedicab predators.
The pedicab
predators. Yeah.
Chris as it comes out. Have a seat. Have a seat right there.
Then there was a couple times too, like, oh my God. I remember just like walking, or not walking, like, just riding my pedicab along the 16th Street Mall, and there was this one girl that just had like looked at me, and she ended up having, I ended up like talking with her and then smoking with her. And then it led to us making out in the alley and banging in the alley. And it was crazy. And
She must have a real bad itch, huh?
yeah, but it's funny because I ended up, I don't know, it was definitely the most, I don't even remember her name.
Alley girl.
Yeah, pedicabbing and drinking a lot excessively was rowdy. Like,
It was that pedicab shit where like someone hit you or something and you flipped over.
oh
on your
yeah,
bike.
there was a couple pedicab stories where I was fucking. There was one time where I got clipped by a bus and it flipped up and it ripped the back end of my cab off. And then there was another time where there was
Back into your cab.
yeah, and then there was another time where I had a couple old ladies and it was a Broncos game, and somebody fucking cut me off and I was about to go down the hill that goes like, you have to pick up a lot of speed and go down this hill to go back up it, or else you're not gonna make it. And somebody cut me off and I had to like fucking jump up the curb and I flipped my cab and I threw these two old ladies off into
Yeah.
some fucking.
That's the one I'm thinking.
Oh my God, dude. Like,
Yeah.
they were. Oh, I'm so thankful that they were just like laughing and they thought it was so hilarious and they like understood. They're like, yeah, that guy cut you off, and I was like, yeah, I just fucking had to go off on the curb and fucking flip you off into the dirt. But one time that was really bad.
Little old lady.
I felt so bad about that little lady who. But one time that was bad because the ambulance came. Me and this cat Milky were riding a group ride. He had people in his cab and I had people in my cab. We're doing like racing. We're like doing pedicab racing. Everybody when they get in pedicabs, they're like, "Oh, let's race," you know. And then pedicabbers just look at each other and they're like, "All right, well, we're just gonna make it look like we're racing, and whichever one we guess has more money is gonna win." So, we're going and I'm going and I go to turn on this one from the street off 15th Street past fucking Market onto the sidewalk because it like levels off really nice. Well, this lady stood up. This guy and this lady stood up and they have their hands up and we go to get on the sidewalk and they stand up and it like throws the weight off of the cab and then it barely hits this bump and flips them into this glass pane. And it didn't break. That's so crazy. It did not break. But it flipped him into this glass, and the lady and the guy flew out of the cab, and I got sandwiched in between the glass too in the cab because I was still on the bike, and they were standing, and it made it flip over, and yeah, and the ambulance had to come. The lady, like, I just remember flipping the cab back over, and the lady, like, laying on the ground, like, looking up, like, in terror, like, and go like, oh, like, and yeah, it was crazy.
You're not allowed to have passengers in a fucking pedicab car.
No,
Nothing.
I'm good.
No, you're not. There's always something going wrong.
Well, that was their fault. They stood up. She stood up and like had her hands up, and it caused the weight. And then it ejected.
You didn't think to like brake or stop?
If I would have, it would have threw her forward. It's different in a pedicab, dude. Like you can't just slam on the brakes because she'll fucking fly forward and fly off the cab.
Well, that's your fault.
Then there was another time where I was going down this ramp and my brakes went out because I had this shitty cab and my brakes went out and I hit this fucking pillar, and these 3 girls, same thing. They stood up and then I was like, yo, and I pushed them back. My brakes were working, and then the releasing of the brake and then closing them again just broke them. And then I ended up smashing into these metal pillars and ripping one out and one girl flying over. There's tons of stupid pedicab stories.
If you had a rating of your pedicab, like, you know how you give like Uber drivers their rating?
Like
what would your rating be out of 5 stars, you think? Maybe like 3.5?
it would be a lot higher than that because I get.
Because you banged them all? Petty fuck.
Dude, Craig should start his own, like, you know, there's like that fake taxi, you know, whatever, like cash cab, whatever, taxi cab confessions. It should be called like the fucking cab, or the cab fuck.
Happy ending cab.
It's something, dude. Because, dude.
The petty fuck.
The petty fuck. Oh.
What it is anymore.
The petty fuck. Oh, fuck yeah. So, in your lifetime, how many girls do you think you've had sex with?
Oh God, I don't even know, to be honest with you.
And I know you're a raw dog and son of a bitch.
I get tested.
Mm-hmm. For what, your GED? You failed that how many times?
I never took my G. I got my diploma, motherfucker.
Ah, that's so weird.
So weird. It's like, oh, you passed. I walked in everything.
I'm down. The cutter.
The cutter.
All I can hear is that fucking pimp my ride. I'm at Jersey. Let's go.
I'm Exhibit. I heard you like cars, so we put a car inside your car.
Dude, fucking I just did a system in the car in the Cutlass too.
You did? You put fucking speakers in there, like actual fucking surround sound speakers.
No, that's in the front, fool. In the back, the speakers.
I'm not a fool guy.
You're full, guy. Well, anyways, yeah, the stereo works. It's nice. It's got a Bluetooth stereo in it. You drive that around.
Bluetooth, not Bluetooth.
That way, you could drive to the work sites, and it'll start advertising for Kyle because it'll be like, they have this guy that's got this worker's got a convertible that's crazy.
Just put the ladder next to me.
Just tie it on. It's tied on the back.
You know your colors looks like now? It's like a LeBaron. Dude,
my first tattoo was by Joaquin. I was 14, and I remember I was wearing a pair of, I actually had underwear on at the time too, which is weird. I had a pair of brown Wranglers.
Oh, we gotta talk about that. No, fuck that story. We're fucking talking about when you have to go poop. You have to go poop completely naked, even if it's midday. Like, you know,
because
like
it's nice,
no,
bro.
it's not because it's nice. Say like, say for like me, you and Taylor going to the mall, and you gotta poop. You will go to that restroom and take a shit but have to be completely naked. And you will photo
If I
photos
really
neatly.
have to shit in public, I like if we're at the mall and I'm about to shit my pants, yeah, I will go in the bathroom.
Wait,
and I will
so
get comfortable.
when you gotta shit faster, you go through the whole process of getting fully naked?
I've gotten better. I can leave my I can sometimes leave my
I've gotten
t-shirt.
better.
I sometimes leave my t-shirt on.
It's not even that.
Sometimes I leave my socks on.
Dude, this guy,
No, I
back
always
in the day,
leave
he would
those
wear
off.
bracelets, right? And we didn't believe that he got completely naked for his chits or whatever. So one time, I think it was Kyle or somebody, put their phone underneath the fucking door and saw him poop it.
I was done.
He flipped off the camera, but he was like, seriously, he took off his bracelets too.
Yeah, I was way back when, dude. Yeah, I gotta take my bracelets off, everything, dude. I don't want to get poop on anything.
You look like
At first I thought you were saying your braces.
Well,
no, his bracelets, man. But dude, that's
back
when
when I would wear the bracelets.
that's when you look like Donkey Kong, dude. With your
Yeah,
fucking
like,
tie and
I was
shit.
thinking like the way you skated
The
and
red
stuff
tie.
too is like it's a good way to describe your style as Donkey Kong.
When you should press X or whatever.
You got real Donkey Kong style, dog.
Got that Donkey Kong style.
That dog,
Even
that doggone
Mongo
Donkey Kong.
Goofy Donkey Kong style.
Dude, Craig had a Total Express character. His arms would drag across the ground when you're skating like forward.
The turns and shit.
Just Donkey Kong on all day.
Oh, I gotta piss. I'll be right back.